toxins can cause obesity. Who can think of one? Snickers, Kit Kat, $100,000 bar, Halloween, trick or treat. Okay, you get the point. With this in mind, poisons, allergens, constipation all have the ability to trigger responses in your body that won't allow you to lose fats. So there are ways that we can dodge some of those. And you're going to find by keeping a journal that you'll go back and go, why did I have a difficult time that week losing weight? And if you go back and look in your journal, you'll see some of the reasons that were because you ate something that wasn't good for you. You may not have an allergy to gluten right now, but you may have a history of it in your family, and it may be causing a problem, and you'll start to see this in your journals. Here's a study where in the 1950s, farmers used to make more money because they would inject their cattle with certain toxins or medicines, and they'd grow bigger by 20%. They'd make more money. Well, some of the things they used were steroids and antibiotics. And they started paying attention as far back as the 1950s at how come these cows are getting fat? How come we're training them to be obese? And all of a sudden, we start seeing steroids pop up, and we know what that does. It makes muscles bigger. But antibiotics is what they really were using to keep them well. Because a cow that's not well, that's coughing or sneezing, isn't allowed to be given milk. Or if it gets an infection, they have to quarantine it away from the others, and they lose money. So they're given antibiotics all the time, and they're gaining weight. In addition to that, they did a study on Navy recruits, and they were giving these Navy recruits a continuous dose of antibiotics because they thought, we'll just keep these guys well all the time. Makes sense, right? What they found was when they gave them penicillin, that they gained 4.8 pounds every time they did it. An average of 4 or 5 pounds. So every time you get a round of antibiotics, it's usually that your intestinal flora dies and you lose a little water weight with either diarrhea or water fluids leaving your intestines quicker, followed by the next 3 days of accumulation of body fat. And by the way, it stays permanently. So pay attention back in your history. When did I have antibiotics last? And was it playing a role in my life? Or did I take probiotics and normalize my intestinal function so I didn't continue to gain weight? See, we have a solution for it as well. Who cares if I beat up antibiotics now? I'm going to. Here we go. And the reason why is because it's not your fault. You don't know and people aren't telling you. But in states with the heaviest use of antibiotics, they also have the highest rates of obesity. Now, if you're from these states, I want you to jump up and yell and wave and never mind. But West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, Alabama, all have the highest problems, and they started paying attention in these medical journals. And here's what they found after that. That they also have the highest stroke rates. In addition, they have the highest obesity rates. Then they found they have the highest diabetes rates. And then they found they have the highest heart attack rates. This is the Centers for Disease Control that's reporting this and going, we're starting to pay attention to this and think that these antibiotics are being an obesity cause. With that in mind, according to the Centers for Disease Control, antibiotics can cause increased obesity by killing the beneficial gut bacteria, or the probiotics. 10 minutes left. Got it. With that in mind, you've got a situation where we have probiotics in a healthy chocolate, and you can take it every day for a snack. And it's called Showbiotics. It also has fiber with it too. It's my choice because I was a child who was given antibiotics. Were you? Oh, those effects can't last my whole life. Yeah, until you normalize your gut flora. Till you get that acidophilus down in there, and you kill the yeast, and you promote the good, healthy flora in there, your body will continuously go through this same cycle. In addition, the average child receives, you ready for this? 20 courses of antibiotics by the time they reach 18 years of age. Now, these are all medical studies, and they have found that by killing the healthy bacteria in the gut, it tricks our body into overeating. Food's moving through quicker. It's not being absorbed as readily. We're having diarrhea. We're creating the growth of yeast. We're craving sugar to feed the yeast, and it's a cycle that can be broken by consuming probiotics. Did you know when they first developed penicillin and they put it on the market, that it was a requirement when you got a prescription for penicillin to pick up a prescription for acidophilus at the same time? And within 5 years, because the courts wouldn't allow the pharmaceutical companies to patent the natural product acidophilus, it went away and it wasn't required anymore, and you can't find a pharmacist or an MD that remembers that. But if you look it up in the scientific papers, when you go to Altogether Too Much School, like I did, you'll find that that's actually the case. Why? And I quote, because it damages the immune system and the digestive system, creating abnormal immunity and potential obesity. My gosh, we knew this 100 years ago and we aren't telling anybody? Well, we can't patent it, we can't make money on it, may as well not educate on it. Well, that's different. We're in a different time now. Now that you know this, you know that if you get a round of antibiotics, we're going to be taking a long period of probiotics to restore that proper function so that you don't predispose a person for obesity. When antibiotics kill the good probiotic bacteria, it results in a 6-fold increase in the hunger hormones that stimulate appetite. So not only are you working on the gut, your gut's stretch receptors are saying, I'm hungry, feed me. And you're getting much, much, much higher rates. In addition to that, antibiotics stimulate the appetite and result in 18 months later negative effects that are still going on in a sustained 5% weight gain. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we're taking the Showbiotic healthy antioxidant to help reduce that inflammation, and at the same time, that probiotic is going to help restore normal function. Antibiotics make us fat, while probiotics help us lose fat. That's a really good summary on that. All these are on medical journals, and I talk more about them in some of the other lectures that I give, but we're running out of time. Communications. Again, the most important and most successful weight loss programs in America come with people who have a coach, health coach, a sounding board, someone they're accountable to. Somebody they can call when they're ready to eat that hot fudge sundae. They can talk them out of it. Somebody who will listen and have mutual respect for the mutual goal. Stress causes obesity. I've talked about that many, many times. The body responds to stress by swelling, by storing fats, by protecting and reducing vital body functions. So you're slowing your metabolism down. You're protecting your core. It's difficult to lose fat at the same time. During stress, you downregulate the thyroid hormones as well. And oxidative damages, those are the things that are caused by free radicals inside the cells. They damage the blood vessels and trigger inflammation. So again, the reason we're so powerful in this weight management program and why we're different is we have the best polyphenols, which are the best antioxidants, which neutralize the most toxins, and we can give you probiotics at the same time. For the 15 years ago that your dentist gave you 16 weeks of antibiotics when he should have given you 1 day. Starting to make some sense? Pay attention to some people that you want to help and you'll find some of these things are absolutely true. Antioxidants from the raw cocoa help reduce the cause of obesity and fat gain at the cellular level. With that, I'm going to stop because I could go on for hours and hours. Did you find these facts applicable? Yes. Did you think of yourself? Did anybody find, oh my gosh, that makes sense to me? Did ESSENCE summarize that study in a way that you could enjoy going home saying, this is simple enough to do? How simple is it? It is so simple that all we need to do is, oh, I could beat sugar up really bad. Do you want me to do that?
No.
Okay. All we need to do is eat, sleep, supplement, exercise, neutralize the toxins, communicate and eliminate stress, and this is how simple I like to summarize the weight management program. If you can't summarize it into one sentence, I believe you don't know enough about it. So, when I summarize this weight management program, I can get it down to one word per step. The shake is breakfast. Lunch is the cookie. You've got a healthy meal, and you've got a handful of snacks. In addition to that, you're going to get some communication with people that you have mutual respect with. If you make this bigger than it's easy to follow, people won't stay on it. Is this easy enough for you to follow? Can you think of somebody that this will help? When you do, you'll be able to share this information swiftly, simply, and easily because it's packaged in a pack for a breakfast, for a lunch, for snacks, and you've got something that they can do in addition to that called the essence of weight loss. Are we going to do questions and answers, or did I finish?
Oh, I don't know. We don't have, I don't have the audio, and we probably don't need it. Let's see. Oh, this is the best. We could just go on.